Hello and welcome. Today we're going to spend some time with the HK CC9. And I've come up with a list of 21 positives and 11 negatives. I started using the HK CC9 back in December of 2024, and today is August of 2025. So I've had almost 8 months of experience with the CC9, and I have shot 850 documented rounds through the HK CC9. Most of it has been range ammo, which includes Blazer Brass, MagTech, 124 grain, 115 grain, but also shot quite a bit of defensive ammo, and that's been with Gold Dot, Federal HST, Fort Scott Munitions, Vitalis Precision, which is an ammo manufacturer that I've discovered some time ago. And what's really nice about them is they're local to Indiana. And so I always like to promote Indiana businesses, and these guys are doing a fantastic job with their ammo. We'll take a closer look at their ammo in a little bit. So without further ado, let me get into my likes and dislikes. But for those of you that haven't seen the reviews on the HK CC9, which probably by now is everybody, it is made here in the US by HK USA, and you get it in a case like this. Got the paper sleeve that comes in it, then you get a box. And then inside of the box, if I can do this around the camera, you get a really nice HK range bag. So as far as the packaging is concerned, they really did a good job at it, and probably the gun would have been a little cheaper if they didn't spend all that money. We're also going to take a look, because I've been testing the DPM systems, and I worked with them to develop this reduced recoil guide rods for the HK CC9, and I'll talk about my experience with that as well. So with the HK CC9, by the way, this has been safety checked. You can buy it in 2 different ways. There's 2 variants. Both of them, of course, are optics ready, but you can buy it optics ready, which is the gun with the optics cut, and with night sights at the front, and the rear is a blacked out. I changed it for a tritium back sight, which turns it into a 3-dot system. From the factory, it comes with just a serrated blacked out. Or you can get it with optics installed, which also comes with a Holosun 407K. But I believe you get the green dot. This is a red dot. And when you have that version that comes with the red dot, you get tall sights. So suppressor height sights, which I don't have in this model. Okay, so those are the 2 different variants that you can get. You can also, they come with a 10-round mag, which you see here, and a 12-round mag. Now, one of the things that I did is the 12-round mag, which is the one on camera left, comes with this extended base plate. The 10-round mag, which is the one I'm pointing at right now, comes with the flat base pad. Now, I didn't feel comfortable using the 12-rounder with this little pinky horn here. I just feel, and I have medium-sized hands, so it's not like I have the biggest hands in the world. I just felt that it kind of cramped my fingers here. So I looked at the HK website, and I didn't see, they're not selling any flat base plates for the 12-rounder. So I thought, look, it still has the sticker for the 10+1, but is the 12-rounder. So I figured, what would happen if I would just switch them? And it did work. The flat base plate had a little bit of an issue really sliding in comfortably, but it did go in, and I fired many rounds through this, and it's worked perfectly fine. So now, my 12-rounder, instead of looking like this and compressing my fingers, my 12-rounder, which is the one I always use, looks like this. I have a very comfortable grip. I can easily get my 3 fingers on it. And the 10-rounder, I never carry anyway, so that's out of the way. So just to give you a little tip of what worked for me, and at least in my experience, switching the base plates has worked perfectly fine with 0 issues. Okay, another thing that was very interesting is that in the CC9, the distance between the front of the trigger shoe to the back of the grip right here is very similar in almost exact measurement with the full-size pistols. Now, I didn't bring out any other micro compact guns to compare, but looking at the HK CC9, and you put the calibers to this, there, you're looking at 2 3/4 inches. All these other guns have been safety tested, safety checked, okay? If I'm looking at a Glock 19M, you're looking at 2 7/8, almost the same. If I'm looking at my Glock 48, there you go. You got 2 7/8 as well. And if I look at this 1911 full-size Springfield loaded operator, I haven't touched the caliper. We're at 2 7/8. So it's almost identical. The grip to trigger distance between a full-size 1911, a compact Glock 19, and a compact Glock 48. So I thought that was very interesting, and perhaps because the CC9 is a pistol that is very easy to shoot. It absorbs recoil well, and it's comfortable. Not only comfortable to carry, but the reach and how it fits, at least in my hand, I found it interesting that it is pretty much exactly the same distance between this micro compact and the full-size guns. So I just thought I would throw that out there for you guys. So let's start with the positives. And the first category is going to be performance and reliability. I want you to know that I've had 0 issues. 850 rounds of all kinds, 0 issues whatsoever, not even ammo related. So that's been very, very positive. 100% reliable. The ammo that I've been using for, as far as range ammo, mostly it's been MagTag 124 or 115, or what else I've been using? That's pretty much what I've been using the most of, MagTag. I'm sure that I've used some Blazer 115, 124 as well. Now, as far as defensive ammo, my main carry has been for a while now Fort Scott. Okay, and the tumble upon impact, I think it's a fantastic round. It's been very reliable. It's 80 grain. It just screams. The spear tip just screams out of there, and it's been very, very reliable. I've also been using Gold Dot, Spear Gold Dot, mostly the 124 grain. Another one that I've been using is the Federal HST, and also 124 grain. And then I mentioned earlier the Vitalis Precision, and it's this. Now these guys are known for very high-end, accurate rifle rounds, and they've started a while ago also dipping into defensive ammo. This is 125 grain, and what I like about them is they tell you exactly the details of the round that you have here. Their velocity, their, everything you want to see, power factors, it's all here. And they do, you can hear the rattle because I'm almost through with the box and I just threw the insert out. But this is what it looks like. They do a very good job with it. They use fantastic casings, very high quality. And so if you see them around, they're Indiana company, and I like to give them a shout out because my experience has been very, very good. So like I said, very durable. It's been very dependable. And with the testing, when HK was testing and developing this gun, They fired over 750,000 rounds in the development of this gun. So that's just absolutely crazy, but very typical HK. The next category is going to be trigger and control of the firearm. So the trigger has been getting better and better as I shot it, and it's also something that is expected. It's now sitting at 5 pounds, pretty much right on the nose, on a 5-pull average through my trigger gauge. It's a very nice trigger, very smooth, and you can see here the safety dingus, and this is just a solid piece of plastic there that engages with the dingus. And as you can see there, if I just pull it, it hits right there. It's not going anywhere. But if I disengage it, now it fires, and then your reset is there, and then you're instantly at the wall, and it breaks. So a lot of people say that this is very similar to the VP9 trigger. I think this is better. I actually believe this is the best striker fire trigger that HK has done. So very happy with that. The trigger shoe, I find it very comfortable. And like I was speaking about the trigger dingus here, the trigger blade safety, it completely disappears into the serrated shoe. So it's comfortable in my finger. The curvature is just enough. I'm not a big fan of flat triggers, but this is flat-ish with a little bit of a curve. So I really like the way this works. Another thing about the trigger is that it's a modular trigger chassis. So we're waiting and hoping that perhaps they'll make other frames available, different sizes, but this is a chassis you can take out and move to a different firearm if you have the ability to do so. The grip, for me, my hand is very comfortable. It's just the right size. There's enough of an undercut here, even though the trigger guard is not textured in any way. It's got a really nice undercut here, and with a 12-round mag and now with a base plate, flat base plate, my fingers fit right perfectly on the grip. So for me, it's a very comfortable firearm to shoot. I've put on some Talon grip, and so thank you Talon for sending these in. This is their Pro texture, and it's pretty aggressive. Now for a gun that is, let's call it for the range, a range toy only, I think this would be perfect. Now for me, for carry, especially right now in the summer where I'm not wearing undershirts or anything like that, it's a little rough. This does rub me. And so this would not be my preference. I love Talon grips. I have them in a lot of my firearms, but for carry, I prefer their just plain rubber texture. This is great though, but for the range. Just my opinion, my experience. Another thing that I like about the frame is how it's got textured index points, and it's got them on both sides. Now let's move into capacity and magazines. I already mentioned that I have, with the box, you get the 10-rounder and you get the 12-rounder. But if you want it now, HK has 15 rounds available, 15-round mags. Now, to me, it kind of looks a bit ridiculous because they stick down to about here. But if that's your thing, then you can carry 15 rounds from a factory mag. By the time you put that, I mean, for me, you might as well just carry a full-size gun. So for its size, I think it's got very decent capacity. 12, 13 on deck. It's just 2 less than a Glock 19 and much thinner. And I think from the factory, a much better trigger. Now let's talk about sights and accessories. I think it's got a very good sight picture, whether you're using a red dot or you're using the factory sights. Like I mentioned, if you get the optics included version, you're going to get tall sights. Both of them are going to be blacked out. You don't get any tritium with those. Or you can get the 3-dot tritium, like I have here, or from the factory, it just comes with a blacked out serrated rear U-notch. You do have a rail up front, but it's a tiny one. It's a tiny rail. It's got a 2-slot pick rail, and so not all your lights are going to fit here. You just don't have the space for it. but I can tell you that the Streamlight TLR7 sub made for the Hellcat, so you got to make sure that is the one made for the Hellcat, fits here perfectly. Also, you can use the Streamlight TLR7 sub 1913. That one fits there as well, but not as perfectly as the Hellcat model. And like I mentioned, if you don't get the ones with the optic included, you get just the optic cut. Then it has the Shield RMSC / Holosun 407K footprint, and it goes right onto the slide, and you don't have a need for a mounting plate. Next, we're going to look at ergonomics, and I already touched a little bit on that. It is very easy to field strip. So all you do is check that the firearm is unloaded. You lock it back. You turn the knob down. You release, and there's no need to pull the trigger. So a very comfortable grip, as I mentioned earlier, and you do get a back strap. You can exchange it from the medium, which is here, is the one that comes installed, or you can replace it for the large. So not many micro compacts have the ability to change back strap. So that's definitely a positive for here. Okay, and just to have you take a look here, that's what it looks like on the inside. And this is the factory guide rod here. It is pretty tight spring. If I had to guess, it's probably 18-pound spring, and you do have to have some strength in your hands to rack this slide. It is pretty tight, and even though I've got 850 rounds through this, it's still very, very tight. Now, in my video, I showed you guys that I've been working with DPM systems. I worked with them in developing. This is actually the first spring kit that DPM developed for the CC9. And the kit sends 4 different springs. It's got a metal guide rod with a double spring. One is captured, as you see here, and the other is uncaptured. And you got 4 different springs. You got a short, a medium short, a medium large, and a large. The short is a 12-pound spring. Medium short is 13 pounds. Medium long is 14 pounds. And the long one is 15 pounds. They do make a big difference on the felt recoil. It's softer on a gun that is already pretty soft shooting, but also racking it makes a big difference. Okay, and again, I've probably put about 250 rounds through these and 0 issues. Now, some of you guys are going to say, I do not modify my carry guns. This is a factory spring that is in it right now. Recoil rod and spring. To put it back together, just lock it to the back. And now you're ready. You have field stripped it, you have serviced your gun, and you're ready to go. So the way you see it here, YouTube, it is factory stock. Just put the tapes on it, and that's it. But if you're interested in the DPM system, it works fantastically, especially the 12-pound recoil spring. It makes the racking really, really easy, and I had 0 reliability issues, even with a light 80 grain spear tips from Fort Scott. So for whatever is worth, fantastic product. The people over at DPM in Greece just respond to your emails right away. Even the owner of the company got on a Zoom call, what's it called? WhatsApp video call from Greece to answer some of my questions. Just the nicest people over there. They ship everything FedEx or UPS, a second-day delivery, and they've just been wonderful. So that's all I have to say about that. Build and design. First gun made by HK USA. Everything's made in the US except for the barrel. And the barrel is German made, and of course their famous cannon grade steel. But everything else has been made here in the US. A nice thing that I like, it has a steel guide rod and recoil spring, so you don't get a plastic guide rod like a lot of firearms do. And the slide serrations are very well done, especially when you get back here with a optic mounted on it. Usually you don't have a lot of room, but the slides, both front and rear, work really well. I also like aesthetics. It's just nothing but personal. But I like it that all it says CC9 HK, CC9 over here. You don't have stamped all over the place, the gun will fire without a magazine, and you know, basically your user manual and legal disclaimers all over the gun. They kept it pretty thin in that and classy. So I like the way that looks. Now let's move to holsters and fit. As the months have gone by, there's been more and more people offering holsters for the CC9. And you have Vetter, which is one of my favorite holsters. Tenicor, Tolster, A&R Design, which is something you're going to find very much around the websites that sell the CC9. That's the company that is listed in the HK website. So that's A&R Design. If you like leather, Right Leather Works makes really nice holsters, and they make one for the CC9 as well. Another positive here is the gun is designed for plus P, 9mm plus P rated. So it can take a steady diet. You can shoot plus P through this all day long. All right, so those were the positives. So let's get into the negatives. The first one, or maybe just a note, is they're not easy to find. I mean, locally, I've seen 3, and I purchased 2 of them. You can buy them online if you find them. I like to buy my guns locally. I like to hold them, and I like to make sure that it is what I wanted. So you're going to have an issue finding these. Also, I mentioned that there were 2 variants. The one that comes optics ready, optics install, and one that is just optics ready. So the optics ready one is going to run you somewhere around 600 to 700 jelly beans. The one that is optics installed is going to be running you anywhere from 800 to 950 jelly beans, just so you know the difference. So let's get into the negatives. I'm going to start with a mag release, because even though it's ambi, this gun is fully ambi. You know, you got your mag release that is on this side and on this side. You've got your slide stop on both sides. The only thing that is not ambi is the the takedown lever. I really wish, and I guess I kind of understand why they didn't do it, but I kind of wish that they would have used the paddle release. I love the paddle release on the HK. Even though the mag release works, and it really spits it out of there, I mean, it works really well, even upside down. Gun upside down. You see how I just eject it? I mean, it just spits them out. But the mag release is really, really stiff. And even after 850 rounds, it has not gotten any softer. You really have to push it. So that's one of the reasons why I wish they would have done it reversible, swappable, and not ambi. The other thing is that even though the grip is not very big and I have medium-sized hands, the way the grip is shaped and the mag release is shaped, you see, kind of follows the contour of the grip. I cannot, for the life of me, without breaking my grip, I cannot press that. I just can't. I have to break my master grip, and not even with a bony part, I have to turn it around and spit it out. It is what it is. Maybe that's a me problem with the size of my hands, but I really, really don't like the way they designed this. And that is, sorry, I just bumped you. That is an issue for me. Another thing is that with the mags, the springs inside are very tight. And even after 850 rounds through the mags and the CC9, I have a very difficult time loading the 12th round or the 10th round, depending on the mag, without the help of a loader or really just almost sitting on it to make sure it goes in. Recoil and spring. The recoils and springs, I'm sorry. The one from the factory, yes, of course, it's not like you cannot pull it. Get the mag out of the way. But it's really tight. It really is tight. So if you are somebody, if you're a female that with a little bit less strong, let's put it that way, or if you're a person that has issues with their hands, if you're an older person, you're going to have an issue with this. It's pretty tight. That's where the DPM recoil reduction system comes in, where you can make this lighter, still be reliable, but now you have a better chance of manipulating this. Okay, so that's about the recoil spring. Fit and durability, another category. I keep bumping, it's a little tight in here. Fit and durability. As you can see here, and some people may say it's not an issue, and maybe it's not. You see all the wear that is happening here. I made a video where I showed you that when the gun had less, I think it was less than 100 rounds or less than 200 rounds, somewhere you can check out the video, it was already looking like this. And I showed you how I have other HKs that were made in Germany. USP is the one that I compared, the one that has got thousands of rounds through it, and it looks like it has less wear than this gun had at 200 rounds. Now some people in the video said that doesn't matter, it doesn't concern me, and the metal is still protected. And that may be the case, but the ones I have made in Germany never looked like this after 200 rounds. So whether you think that's an issue or not, just let me know, or just take it for what it is. Talking about fit, we go to the bottom of the gun. And I know it's a carry gun, it's not a competition gun, but it's got zero, even a hint of a beveled edge or a beveled area of the magwell. You got nothing, okay? So I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue for you, but if you practice a lot, or if you do, really fast reloads with the size of the grip and having no beveled here whatsoever, it might be an issue. I would like to have seen a little bit of a little tiny ledge whatsoever. Now the nice thing about it is the polymer is very strong. And some guns, when you start pressing them like this, you can actually bend the grip. With a CC9, you cannot. Another negative that I found is, talking about comfort, is the CC9 gets very hot quickly. So if you go to the range and actually put in a range session practicing with your gun, as we all should, if this is a carry gun, the slide in this area right here gets hot quickly. So that might be an issue, because you do start to feel it and you just really want to put it down and let it cool for a while. Next category of negatives, and all of this is just my opinion, just sharing with you my opinion, is when you got the optic plate on, the screws, the size of screwdriver or tool that you need between the screws that come on it for the plate and the screws that you need to put the optic on it are different. And come on, HK, I'm sure you could have done it so you only need one tool to do both. Okay, the optic cover plate comes with T8 screws, and to mount it correctly, the red dot on it, you need a T10 tool and M4 screws. So let me say that again. The optic plate comes with T8 screws, so you need a T8 screwdriver or star wrench, I'm not sure what they're called, but the optic needs M4 screws with a T10 tool. Just give me one, okay? That way I only need to carry one with me in my range bag. So that's, the next thing on my list regarding that is, some people I've heard some people say, why don't you just give me suppressor height sights on both models? That way, if I want to or not want to use an optic, at least I have the sights to do so. That I'll let you judge whether that's something that's important to you. I know I'm running long, but I just want to make sure I touch all the points that I wrote down. Texturing. You can see on my prior video how the gun looks without the Talon grip. That it's got really nice texturing that goes to about here. Okay, a little bit in the front, a little bit in the back, and again on this side it goes to about here. So this is a gun that this part right here, all this area here, is just smooth plastic. So when you're gripping, when you're putting the meaty part of a really small gun that it tends to have more recoil, where the meat of the palm of your support hand hits, it's all just plain smooth plastic like you see here. And I just found it slippery. I didn't like it. I wish they would have, the texture is really good. I just wish they would have run it all the way up here, especially for what they're charging for this gun. So that's why I reached out to Talon and tried these. So I'm a little disappointed on the texture. So final thoughts on the HK CC9. Well, to me it's very easy to carry, it's easy to conceal, it's been 100% reliable, it's very soft shooting for its size, it's well made, you can see the quality, it's definitely HK, and they did their homework and produced a really nice product. I think I came up with a lot more positives than negatives, almost 2 to 1. But there's something about this gun, and this is just me personally, there's something I'm just not connecting with it. My daily carry, most of the time, is my Glock 48. It's set up exactly like I want it. You see the difference between the rubber grip, Talon grip on the 48 versus the grip on the CC9. I've got the back plate. You can see there how it comes up when the trigger is pulled. So when you are holstering, it almost works like you had a hammer. If you put your thumb here, and if something starts to pull the trigger as you're holstering your gun, you can feel it on your thumb. You can see there. So you can feel it, you can stop and take a look at what's in your holster or what may be impeding the trigger. I got the ports on it, I got the night sights, got the apex trigger. I put a little bit of texture up front where I needed it, which is a little bit more abrasive than this for my index points. I've got it set up exactly the way I want it. And another gun that has been reliable, 0 problems. But I love that gun. I'm just not connecting with this one. I'm giving it a try. I'm spending time with it. I've spent a lot of money on ammo through it. I purchased the red dot for it. But I just, for some reason, I'm not 100% in love with this yet. So will it replace my 48? Probably not, but I'm not sure yet. So that's where it's at. I wanted to spend less than half an hour here holding you back, but I wanted to give you all the information that I've been able to come up with so far with the Heckler Koch HK CC9. I look forward to your comments. Please let me know below what your thoughts are on the CC9 and everything that I presented to you here. If you liked what you saw and you think I'm bringing value to the table, I would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button and the like button. It really makes a big difference for my channel. And YouTube tells me that about 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help if you want to do that for me. Also, please remember that I upload videos every Friday morning and when I can on Wednesday mornings as well. My videos upload to Rumble and I post comment on Instagram and on X. So once again, thank you so much for stopping by. I look forward to your comments, and until the next time, God bless.